independent hoe, I'm all about my businesses. I consistently continue to bring energy and know that keep it popping like I'm full of electricity. Try to hold me out, I wish you would have the audacity. Take a reflexive, now I'm shitting on the industry. Self-made, not a title, cause it's my identity. And wear it on my skin like it's a part of my ethnicity. Mary keep on blowing like instruments in the symphony. They keep a player buzzing like Twitter when you mention me. Being 100's a everyday living tendency. And ain't faced by hating, it makes me increase my intensity.
YouTube world, what it do? What is good? Had to give me some agua in there. What is good, everybody? How's my people out here feeling on a Tuesday? Man, hopefully y'all been wrecking shop, doing what y'all need to do, handle business, and going down and step forward like that. Man, y'all know I told y'all we're gonna come with it soon as it drop. We were gonna go over this 53-man roster, but before we do that, you already know it's the one-man, four size and flavor of DFW Sports. Just a super fan from the DFW land. You see the decor in the background. You see how we represent for everybody in Dallas-Fort Worth. But you know, football season is here, and we got to really show why we one of them Cowboys fans of the year. So make sure you go ahead and hit that like button. Go ahead and subscribe for your boy one time. If you're on X, formerly known as Twitter, go ahead and give your boy a follow at Drewski Self-Made, man. We talk a lot about DFW sports. We are always locked in on all the time. So y'all know what it is, man. It's the good old. Let's talk about it. We got us some action. We got us a 53-man roster, yo, that we got to go over and talk about. We got to go over and talk about this. You know what I'm saying? I think everybody already know where I've kind of been at. I already did a live a couple of days ago about my predictions about the 53-man roster, how I felt it was kind of going to go down. And I'm not going to lie, as I go over this, it, to be honest with you, is more of like, bro, I'm really going to be regurgitating kind of the same stuff I already felt that was going to kind of go down. I will say in the parts that I was, wrong. It's another homer, Seager. Let's go. Rangers piloted on, my bad. We are going to go over this Cowboy stuff, but at the same time, the Rangers are live, and Seager just went yard as the Rangers finally putting up some offensive streak going, and they are up 7-0. Been a good game, man. There's some sad things that happened as well. Let's talk about Nathan Eovaldi, as he's he's basically out for the year. That sucks, but Rangers just got to keep fighting, man. That's all they can do, is at least finish the season good. We are going to be at that game tomorrow. We was hoping to get a Nathan Eovaldi start, but that is not going to happen. We got jaded right there. I'm kind of upset about that. And you're getting a lot of offensive firework tonight. Hopefully they can hold that and go forward. But let's go over this 53-man roster that we have for the Cowboys since the deadline is official for all teams to turn their 53 in. There was a lot of for me, there was really not too many surprises. I said in my live a couple of days ago that I think the only thing that differed from what I had was I thought they would carry just 4 running backs, but they ended up carrying 5. I thought they'd carry 6 receivers. They carried 5. And I thought they'd carry 4 defensive tackles, and they ended up carrying 5. So with that being said, knowing that they'll carry 5 defensive tackles, if that was going to be the case, then yes, Jay Toll was going to make the squad. He was going to make the squad. What up, Daniel? What's good, man? Appreciate you joining in the chat. I see you one time. See you up in there, man. Happy Tuesday. Cheers up. I done already had my beer. We done already grilled, did that type of stuff. But like I said, a couple of lives ago, we kind of broke it down, and really what you see, Dak Prescott, Joe Milton, I said they would run with three quarterbacks if Joe Milton couldn't prove himself. And I'm like, Joe Milton basically has this preseason game to basically solidify that they like what they see in him. And that's basically what happened in the Atlanta game in their third preseason game. He showed enough to where I don't want to say that they believed him, but they believed in what they saw and what was going on. So I said if he could come out strong and basically give the vote of confidence from the coaching staff, they would drop Will Grier. And that's basically what ended up happening. So running with two quarterbacks, that's actually good because they gave you an extra roster spot, which that was something we were going about. What up, big bro? I see you in the chat. What's good, man? How you feel about the roster moves, man? You know, things going on. You know, we'll all talk about that later. You know, we just had to jump on, do our thing coming in, but we're going to all talk about this later. I don't think the Cowboys are done making moves, as Brian Schottenheimer was in his presser today, basically saying that the Cowboys are still open for business. And I believe, you know, your boy Mozzie Smith and Jalen Tolbert is basically the business that's open. I believe. And one of those running backs between Miles Sanders and Javonte Williams. I think between those three players, the business is open for the Dallas Cowboys going forward. But the two quarterbacks we saw, now the running backs, like I said, I thought they would keep only 4. They went with 5. They placed Phil Maffa basically on the injured reserve list. Yeah, so they placed him on the injured reserve list, able to keep him on the roster. I feel he's sitting in the wing just to see if Javonte Williams or Miles Sanders can't cut it. I told y'all from the jump, I don't know what they see. I don't know what they see in Javonte Williams, but I haven't seen anything of him to say that he was guaranteed a running back spot, let alone a starting running back position spot. I didn't really see that going, but that's what happened. But what else? Like I said, Phil Maffa, they put them on the injury reserve. So they basically are going to run. I think it's still correct. They're still going to run with 4 running backs. Only they're giving time to weed out between Miles Sanders. That's my belief. That's my opinion, that they're going to give time to weed out Javonte Williams or Miles Sanders before they bring Phil Maffa back to see what that's happening. But to be honest with you, if that's what you were going to go, you're going to go Javonte Williams, who ain't showed really anything. If you're going to say he has a starting spot and you're going with Miles Sanders, and then you're basically relying on a couple of rookies, that kind of tells me, well, with George Pickens and CeeDee Lamb, I think, Dak, I told you this is going to be on your shoulders. You going to have to throw that bit. You going to have to throw that bit, bro. Like, real talk. I don't think they're too much concerned about the running game. Schottenheimer is talking about running the football, all that. But you mean to tell me with Javonte Williams not showing anything and he has basically a starting position, you can't be serious at the running back spot. That's how I kind of take it. You're not that serious about really running the football. This is going to be on a Dak, CD, George Pickens basis. And maybe you'll get our boy Ferguson to have a bounce back year. I think that's really what you're dependent on right there. That's kind of what the running back room tells me right now, because you can't tell me Javonte Williams did anything to say that he deserved his spot on the roster. I don't think you could. But Phil Maffa going on the injured reserve, that basically lets them keep 5 running backs, but it's still going to be 4. I just think this is a trial week of the first month of the season to see what you're going to do with Javonte Williams or Miles Sanders. One of them is not going to make the cut, and we'll see how that rides. So that's where I'm like, okay, I understand it. I thought Phil Maffa wouldn't make it. I thought the Joneses in this front office, hey, we paid these veterans. We're going to go ahead and get our money's worth. You know what I'm saying? I thought they would go that way, and still to go 2 rookie running backs in your running back rotation, it's still dicey, but I haven't seen anything from Javonte Williams to tell me, okay, running Phil Maffa out there ain't a bad idea. I don't see anything like that. I don't. That's me. But it kind of came out to the way I thought it would. But like I said, them putting Phil Maffa out there, basically, Javonte Williams, Miles Sanders, y'all got these 4 weeks to show that y'all capable of doing something. If not, one of y'all got to go bye-bye. Because now one of them can play special teams. That's another dinger. That's where I had Maffa up there. You know what I'm saying? To probably be able to do some things. But that's how that works on the running back spot. I'm not too surprised it kind of fell out the way I thought it would. The receiver spot is something that I felt was, that kind of changed it up for me, as I thought they would run with 6 receivers out there. I thought they would run with 6 receivers, and basically I thought they would keep Jalen Brooks. I don't want to say Jalen Brooks did enough, but for them to sit there and go with 5 receivers, I still think a receiver spot is open. I think they're holding a receiver spot open. I want to say. Now, do Trayshawn Holden make waivers? We hope. But I told y'all, Jalen Brooks getting waived, I wasn't mad at. I could see it, but I thought they would run 6 receivers, and I thought it'd be Jalen Brooks and Ryan Flanoy. But with them running 5 receivers out there, Ryan Flanoy, which I think it was all agreed, he earned his roster spot. There's no getting away from that. I know everybody loves Trayshawn Holden. Maybe Trayshawn Holden gets a better look if Joe Milton ain't trashed the first 2 preseason games. You know what I'm saying? Maybe if Joe Milton played a little bit better, maybe you might have had a different look and a better look for Trayshawn Holden. But the same thing can be said for Ron Flanoy. I think if Joe Milton played anywhere like he did against Atlanta the first 2 preseason games, it would have been a non-thought that Ron Flanoy should make this team. A straight thought. But like I said, I thought they'd take 6 receivers, and I thought Jalen Brooks would make it along with Ron Flanoy. But them going 5 receivers, okay, I see it. And then you basically have Ron Flanoy to make the last spot, which he can do special teams, and I think that's majority what he's going to do. And then you'll get Mingo to come back to see what happened. But at the same time, like I said, when Shotty says business is open, Tolbert, you better watch yourself, bro. Tolbert, you better watch yourself. You better tread carefully, my guy. Because I believe you are the next one that can be spent on. I believe that. So, like I said, not too many. I'm not shocked to say they ran with 5 receivers. I'm not shocked about. And you still got Mingo out there. I'm not shocked about that. Ron Flanoy making it and Jalen Brooks getting waived. I'm not shocked about. So that's not really moving me to to one certain type of way. So that's kind of, I roll with that part right there. The receivers, running backs, quarterback situation, everything was really on point with what he kind of thought could happen. Had a sense of feel that was going to go on after looking and doing all research and stuff like that. Now, moving to the tight ends, we said they'll keep 3 tight ends. It was hard to see Fairweather go. I like Fairweather. I like Fance, but just looking at the roster spot, depending on what did you need more help with. And like I said, them going 2 quarterbacks, them going basically 5 receivers and 3 tight ends, it was like, okay, they're not confident in the running back spot, and they're not comfortable in the defensive tackle spot. Is how I'm kind of feeling where they're going. But, looking at the tight end spot, I'm not shocked. These are the 3 guys that I had that was going to make the roster, and Jake Ferguson, Breven, Spanford, and then also Schoonmaker. That was like a no-brainer. I hate to see Fairweather and Fance go, but these are the 3 guys that you look to see. And then Spanford, him coming off an injury, I think is going to be a big help. And like I said, with Hunter Lupick sharing one of those running back spots, being the fullback, he's also going to play a lot of that H-back tight end situation. So he's kind of your 4th tight end right there. So it was no need with the extra depth of tight ends that they wanted to go. I mean, you could have, but, with Hunter Lupick being that Swiss Army knife to be a running back, fullback, tight end, I think they're kind of comfortable with that, going with three tight ends. So, I mean, yeah, that was right on point with what he felt, so I had nothing surprised about that. The offensive line basically went exactly the way he kind of felt it would go at the same time. Like, the offense, I'm not going to lie, nothing shocks me about the offense at all. The only difference that I see is just, look, I had 6 receivers with Jalen Brooks making it. They went with 5 receivers. I had Ron Flanoy on there, but it's like I said, I thought they go 6 receivers. They went 5. That's about the only difference on the offense that I see. Offensive lineman, I mean, as you see, of course, Tyler Booker, Tyler Smith, Cooper Beebe, Tyler Booker, and then you had Terrence Steele. That's your first 5. Now, we did know that Ozzie Richards ended up getting traded today. He got traded to the New Orleans Saints for basically a swap of a 2028 pick. Basically, they swapped 7th and 6th rounders or something like that. So you pick up an extra 6th round, or you pick up an extra 6th rounder in the 2028 draft. And that move went because I just think they saw him basically. And y'all know I'm an Ozzie Richards guy. I felt like he was the steal of that 2023 class, but it just hadn't panned out. And I think this coaching staff is like, we've seen the max of it. Even though his pass grade from Pro Football Focus rated real good in the preseason. His pass blocking was real good. His run blocking was something else. But basically, they were gonna waive him. I don't think he would have made it. He was gonna get waived, so that's why they traded him. And why not pick up an extra draft? Hey, you didn't even pick up an extra one. You swap picks. So it's one of those situations where you really got nothing in value. You just got an extra higher pick, and you lost a 7th round pick. But Ozzie Richards, I told y'all, to be honest, it was going to be, and I don't think he played enough right tackle. I said the guard situation they liked. Because you got Booker, you got Smith, you got Bass, and you got Hoffman. And both of them can play guard and center. So that's where that kind of evened out. Richards can't play center. He played mostly left tackle, but I think they're comfortable with Nathan Thomas being there, basically, who made the roster. Nathan Thomas is a strong backup that I think they're going to believe in. And that's what makes them able to go ahead and move on from Ozzie Richards, because he really didn't get no run at right tackle. And to be honest with you, I told you the right tackle, it kind of felt like it was going to be, do they keep Ozzie Richards and see if they can move him over there, or is it going to be a Johnny Cornelius, who I was big high on? Dude had great tape the last 2 preseason games for sure. And it was either going to be him or Hakeem Adeniji. And going and looking at everything that happened, Phil Maffa being put on the IR along with who else that's put on the, you got Carson. Carson put on the IR, basically opened it up for Hakeem Adeniji. He was able to basically be held on the roster, I believe, if I'm reading that right. But I think that ended up keeping Hakeem where they can do something with Adeniji. But I told you about a Johnny Cornelius, bro. He was showing out on film. I really liked what he brought to the preseason. So him getting that backup spot right there, I'm not surprised. They went with 9 offensive linemen, and that's something that we talked about on the previous live, and that's what they went with. It was just the backup right tackle spot, and they went with a Johnny Cornelius, which I'm not mad at. I felt he kind of leaned out and graded out better that way. So the offense, I'm telling you, to be honest, this whole roster, I feel like I'm doing this live all over again, me personally, because we really, I don't want to say predicted this, but we outlined what we kind of felt what was going to happen coming through here. You know what I'm saying? But Johnny Cornelius, man, big up to you, man. He gets that backup tackle spot, and they're going to run with 9 offensive linemen, and that's exactly what they did. Defensive line, like I said, the defensive ends, we already went over. We talked about 6 defensive ends. We knew it'd be Parsons. We knew it'd be Fowler. We knew it'd be Williams. We knew it'd be Nealon, those 4. You had Ezeraku in there. That's 5. So we knew they'd go with 5. Who was going to be the 6th guy? I think we all knew. And now I think the battle was between Tyrus Wheat and James Houston. We all knew James Houston should have made the squad. So there's nothing to get away from that. So we knew that was going to happen, although I like Tyrus Wheat. Tyrus Wheat, to me, did a lot of things on film where he shined out and really did his thing. You know what I'm saying? Big time. Big time. as I'll put the screen back on myself as we continue to talk about this. Going forward, let's go to the defensive side. Y'all know what it is with the defensive side, which we're on 6 defensive ends, which we said. So going to the defensive tackles, I felt they would run with 4 defensive tackles, but they went with 5. Like I said, the receivers going 5. I had them going 6. Defensive tackles, I had them going 4. They went 5. And defensive tackles, we know Solomon Thomas, Osa Odigizua, we knew they would be lock-ins. I had 4, and I told y'all, man, as much as y'all, ready to move on from Mozzie, it's just not gonna happen. They're gonna give this dude every opportunity to basically run himself off the roster. That's a first round pick that they, sometimes you got to learn to let go, but then again, there's sometimes, especially with the one technique being the need for this defense, you just gotta let the leaves fall off when the fall comes. You know what I'm saying? That's just what you got to do. So if he gonna fall off, he's gonna fall off on his own. That's just what happened in the Mozzie. Let's see what Jay Toa can do, because he's basically the extra one added. I said my 4 defensive tackles was gonna be Osa, Solomon, Mozzie, and then Pion Winfrey. So I had Pion Winfrey making this squad. It was a little sketchy. It was some things that got reported saying he got waived, and then all of a sudden it got retracted. So that was kind of a crazy experience. But I was like, man, if y'all cut Pion Winfrey, oh, hell no. Y'all ain't making no sense. And that's kind of how I was feeling with it. But at the same time, I mean, this is what they did. Yo. So, I mean, big props to him. J Toa making a squad, that I wasn't mad at that neither. I felt like, damn, maybe they could use an extra defensive tackle. And that's exactly what they did. So putting Toa on there is basically saying if Mozzie don't get his shit together, yeah, he's going to run himself out, and we're going to give the young guys some look at. But then you got Pierre Winfrey, and I think he earned his spot in this. Not even close. James Houston, Ryan Flanoy earned their spot hands down, and it wasn't even close. So the defensive line, I mean, just really the addition that they ran 5 defensive tackles is the only difference for me. But J Toa making the squad doesn't surprise me at all. I ain't mad at it. So like I said, I'm really regurgitating everything I said a couple of days ago. I'm really being honest. I should have pulled up my other live and went through as everything was going and went this side by side. But that's basically the only couple difference you got. You go to the linebacker spot. They ran 5 linebackers out there, and every linebacker that's out there is exactly who he felt would be out there. Damone Clark, Miris Leofile, Shamar James was basically the last one who was able to make it. You got Kenneth Murray and Jack Sanborn. So it really wasn't no difference in that. Now you go to the defensive backs. They carried 10 defensive backs, which I didn't have that many. Now I knew they ran with 4 safeties. I knew they were going to run 4 safeties, which the safeties we knew were Malik Hooker, Donovan Wilson, Wanye Thomas, Marquise Bell. There was really no. He said Elijah Clark played good, and I think they're hoping to get him back on the practice squad because he did play good, especially in the Atlanta game. He came through strong, but Elijah Clark, he definitely deserves another chance at it if opportunity comes his way. So hopefully he can stay on the practice clear waivers and get on the practice squad. Mr. Cowboy, what's good, my Brody? Appreciate you tuning into the session. Like I said, man, I'm really regurgitating everything I've really said a couple of days ago when I broke down my predictions for the 53-man roster. It really kind of panned out the exact, I don't want to say the exact same way. They just added more defensive backs, cut one less receiver, added more defensive tackle. That's kind of how that went. So, like I said, the safety situation, that was easy to see. The corners, them cutting Kamon Hall really kind of, I don't want to say surprised me to the fullest. It made me say, whoa, just because Kamon Hall did play pretty good. He was solid. But I see between him and Zion Childress, I said Zion, I like Zion. to me, maybe him being too young might be the reason he might not make it. But to be honest, that is the reason he made it, is because he's the younger player. I believe Brian Schottenheimer said that he believed that Kamon Hall and Zion Childress was basically neck and neck even on the roster. So they basically, when you got the same, if players are even and it breaks out the same, then why not go with the younger player? So what I thought Zion wouldn't make it because of is why he made it is because of his age. He's younger. He's going to be younger. And so that's a good move. That is out of there as the Angels get on the board. Boy, Neto be killing y'all boys. Anyway, jumping back to it. Rangers are up 7-1. Looking at the corners, like I said, Deron Bland, we knew. Trayvon Diggs is possible. Once he got activated, it was like, oh, okay. So it's really going to boil down to that slot corner. That's really what it boiled down to between basically Kamon Hall, Zion Childress. And with them cutting Kamon Hall and not having like an extra slot corner to work with, that kind of lets me know Deron Bland he's gonna have a great share of playing nickel corner. He's gonna have a great share of playing in the slot. That's what that lets me know. And I mean, Carson, for them to put him on the injured reserve, that kind of holds it good for him, which that just made it even that much more better for Zion Childress to make it. I think they like everything about him. I think they believe they got something with Zion Childress. That was a good pickup, and he's most likely, with Carson being on the injured reserve, he's most likely going to jump in there early. And depending on Diggs, man, if Diggs play week 1, then like I said, you'll see Hall basically get his split duties at the nickel spot, because I think the plan is to play Deron Bland everywhere in the secondary from left corner, right corner, but he's going to get a lot of snaps at the slot. I think that's what's going to happen. I think that's kind of how they're visioning this, which ain't bad. That ain't a bad thing to go about it that way. Not at all. Not at all. But like I said, Zion Childress, they like a lot of stuff about him, bro. They really do. They really do, and I was right there with him. I was saying, bro, Zion, the film watch sessions we were having, I was telling y'all, bro, Zion can play. Now, I saw him mostly play in the box and do his thing in the box, blitz and stuff like that, but he's a physical player, and then he's going to be able to play special teams as well, so that's things that you're looking for. CJ Goodwin, I don't know how he's still on the roster or still a possibility for it, but yeah. 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 How do y'all feel, man? Go ahead and jump in the chat if y'all want to. I mean, like I said, in the special teams, we already know Anger, Aubrey, and Sig. We knew that was gonna happen. Like I said, bro, the 53-man roster really don't. Me doing this, I almost thought about not doing this live today, because I'm like, bro, the roster really came out basically the way you've already said it. And basically brought down, bro. Like, it really happened that way. So it's like not too much really caught me by surprise. It was just more about the numbers game. How did they really want to run the numbers was the only thing that I kind of had a question in mind how they would do. But I'm still looking at the running back situation. I'm like, bro, if you're going to tell me you're preaching competition and Javonte Williams didn't show anything, he wasn't even basically available to do anything, and he got a starting position, y'all not running the football. Y'all ain't running the football. Kill the noise. Y'all not running the football. This basically, and I said this in a couple lives ago as well, bruh, this offense is going to all depend on Dak Prescott staying healthy, and they're going to have to throw that bit. They gonna have to throw that bit. And we're gonna all get upset about it because Dak is gonna throw for 40. And if Schottenheimer is smart, he knows that's not the recipe. I mean, I think it shows over Dak's career. You get him throwing over 40 times, it just don't bode well for the Cowboys. It really don't. Now, there might be games he throws over 40 times and he still puts up numbers. It just don't bode well for the Cowboys. It bodes well, especially like when he came into the league, having that balanced attack, being able to run the football. And I told you the strength of this team is really their offensive line. You saw the depth in their offensive line throughout this whole preseason. They have depth there. They've been confident of what they got on the offensive line. So if they're confident in that, they're going to be confident to let Dak drop back and use this new weapon with George Pickens that they got. Utilize Tolbert in different and special ways, along with CeeDee Lamb, of course. So this season is really predicated on Dak Prescott. As much as we want to sit here and say, or Schottenheimer want to sit there and say, well, make no mistake about it, we're going to run the damn football. I don't know, bro. That might be one thing I call cap on Hatback Shouter. That might be the one cap I call on Hatback Shouter. Because like I said, Javonte Williams, what? What? And Miles Sanders didn't show me. He played at least. But what he played, I'm like, bro, he needs some Eric Dickerson goggles. Because, I mean, he can't read the whole, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like, he need them bifocals back there. You know what I'm saying? Real talk. Look, Courtney, what's happening? Appreciate you tuning in one time, getting it off his chest, talking about some Dallas Cowboys mess and the stress that they always seem to put us into. But, you know, coming into this offseason, I just felt like this team got a lot of holes up in here. But, you know, now that the football season is getting close, I'm like, oh, we might be able to do something, but it's going to depend on this offense. Defensively, I think the linebacker core to be quiet as kept. If Damone Clark, if this coaching staff gets anything what we've been seeing out of the first few preseason games out of Damone Clark, if his direction, his trajectory keeps going up, that linebacker core going to be probably the surprise unit of this team this year. Probably will be the surprise unit. If Damone, because I think we know Maurice Leofau is going to be something nice. I think we all agree on that. Sanborn, let's see how he gets more reps in, but I think we kind of saw him in the connection with Eberflus. I think we kind of got us a good one. And then Kenneth Murray, if he can stay healthy, we know what he can do. He's proven. Shamar James, we've been banging on the table. We say he got to be in there, and he's in there. He's in there. Yes, ma'am, and yes, sir. He's in there. Like I said, if Damone Clark, if his trajectory can keep going up, he's going to be all right. Now, the bad part for Shamar James is if Demarion Overshown or when Demarion Overshown comes back, he's going to be probably the – but that's just competition right there. If Damone Clark don't show up, I believe you're on the block. That's why I'm like, okay, this linebacker core is going to depend on that because once you get Overshown back, then who do you let go? The consensus is probably saying Shamar James, but let Damone Clark be out there and still be trash. You know what I'm saying? Like he's been kind of the first three, you know what I'm saying? But we were all like, maybe Eberflus is unlocking his potential, tapping into his potential. But if he start putting the bed, bro, yeah. Overshown come back, Damone Clark, I can see you being out of there. I would keep Shamar James because he's going to be able to play special teams too. Damone Clark plays special teams, but it's like I said, if he can keep going upward, the linebacker core will be, God damn, boy, you gave up a 2-run homer. Nah. Rangers was up 7-0. Now they up 7-3. Come on now. Danny Colombi. I don't know what's up with him, man. But the Rangers, they about done, bro. They about done. But yeah, go back and look at this roster, man. Y'all can go back and look at my 53-man breakdown roster for sure. Go ahead and look back at that, and y'all gonna listen to this one, and you're gonna be like, bro, you really saying the same thing. You really did the same show twice. Like, to be honest with you, you did the same show twice. I almost got up here, and I'm like, bro, it ain't really no need for me to even get up here. I'm pretty sure everybody done heard everybody break down, what was going on. But I'm like, for me, it ain't too much need to break down. I didn't really already said what I kind of felt was going to happen. And it kind of happened that way. So I don't. It's not to say he was right or wrong or anything. Because I'm here to say I thought they'd run 6 receivers. I thought they would run only 4 defensive tackles, but they ran 5 receivers. But defensive back, Andrew Booth. I'm sorry, y'all. Until Revel, depending on what Revel can do, y'all are gonna see Andrew Booth on that outside corner. Hey, man. It's not my fault. I just didn't want to go to Arizona. You're going to be stuck with your boy right there, man. Unfortunately. But I like when Schottenheimer is basically saying that the Cowboys are still open for business, which, to be honest with you, all other 31 other teams are going to still be open for business after they see who done been released, who clears waiver wire. So who's been released might be somebody they might try to pick up, or who basically passed waiver wires, you know what I'm saying, and able to come back. I believe they want Trayshawn Holden to come back, so hopefully he can pass that waiver wire, because I still don't think they're high on what's his name? Mingo. I don't think they're that high on me. I'm not high on me. Let me rephrase that. I'm not high on Mingo. Let me not say what they're doing. I'm not high on Mingo. I'm not high on Tolbert. Yeah, business is open for y'all two, for damn sure. And if Trayshawn can pass that waiver wire, bruh, like I said, Damone Clark, bruh, it's either put up or shut up now. It's either put up or shut up for you, my guy. So you got to be careful. Because Shamar James, he looking to, he's looking to have something happen. And he's a young guy. He's a rookie. Why not? Why not? But Andrew Booth, y'all, there's other corners that's out there, which I won't be surprised if the Cowboys do make another look at another corner. I would rather them take another look at another defensive tackle. That's me. Because I like Peon Winfrey too, but it's just I'm not fully sold on, past Osa. Solomon Thomas might be all right, but I'm still not even sure about Solomon Thomas. I'm going to be honest with you. I'm really not that too much sure about him, how he's going to do. Just saying. So Osa is by far the only guy I see at the defensive tackle I'm sure about. Everybody else I got big question marks about. Now, I got more question marks about Mozzie than anybody else. Toa, we know he's a big guy. He's going to be able to do what he's supposed to do. That's supposed to happen. You know what I'm saying? And he's a rookie. We will give him pass. He's going to learn this game as it goes on. But Mozzie, nah, bro, you've been here, hopefully this is the year you get it. But if not, if this is another year where you, like you say, I like Tyrus weak game because his give a damn was high. But your boy Mozzie, he got that I ain't even tripping attitude, bro. Fuck nonchalant. He got that I ain't tripping, bro. That's worse than nonchalant. Just, man, I ain't tripping. How many people be like, it be something that be going on, they always, shit, I'm guilty of it. You know what I'm saying? I'll be like, on some player shit, just, I ain't even tripping. You know what I'm talking about? I ain't tripping off that. He got that vibe, that attitude, just, I ain't tripping, bro. I mean, they the ones who expected me to be this world first round draft pick. I ain't had that expectation, so I ain't tripping. And I think that's another thing probably where we got to kind of look back at. When Mozzie Smith was drafted, I don't think none of us said that he was going to be the be-all at the defensive tackle. Now, we was like, okay, we finally get us a defensive tackle. Hopefully it can work out. Really, we just need you to keep our linebackers free is what we asked. We didn't ask you to just basically be a waste and not be tripping about it. You know what I'm saying? We didn't ask you just to take up a spot for a few years and just not be tripping about it. That's not what we had in mind. So I think at the same time, a lot of people who are on Mozzie's top, did you really have that set of expectations for him to really be that type of guy when we drafted him? Now, I get it. Y'all going to say, man, a first-round pick is a first-round pick. You're supposed to Again, this is the Dallas Cowboys who did draft. Now, this was Will McClay who banged on this table, and Jerry and them love Will McClay. They gave him, his money is extension. So they're gonna Mozzie, like I say, Mozzie is gonna have to run himself. He's gonna have to play himself off this roster. That's just what's gonna have to happen. He's gonna have to play himself off this roster, and I see it happening. I'm gonna be real with you. I can see it happening. I can see him playing himself off this roster, especially if he's gonna have that I ain't even tripping attitude, because he really has that, and we really don't like that in players to have that type of attitude. Now, like I told y'all in a live ago, I'm like, bro, this team is gonna kind of, to me personally, depending on how Diggs shake back. If Diggs shakes back right, we might be working something. And then, Michael Parsons, y'all, give it to probably about Thursday. Give it to about Thursday, bro. And I hope. I don't want to say I believe, because ain't no telling with Jerry and how the NFL works and how he likes his drama. I think by Thursday you should hear negotiation talks ramp up. At least you should hear them talking. I would hope, because then you would give it a little time to see who's clearing waivers, who's all being released and all that type of stuff. You can still try to kind of make your moves going there, and then let's get to the real honey of the money situation. You know what I'm saying? So give it to about Thursday, maybe Friday. Hopefully we can start getting conversations between the front office, the Joneses, and basically Michael Parsons and his representative. Let's see what they can get going. But, if Trayvon Diggs if he can come back and be right, then there's hope for this defense. There's hope. If Damone Clark can, because we like, damn, maybe Eberflus done figured him out. If he can keep going up, this defense can be good enough. Then it kind of changes my whole mind frame of what it looks like that this team can do going into the 2025 season. Now, against the Philadelphia Eagles, it will be tough, because running the football in between the tackles is basically their bread and butter, and us in between the tackles, you're going to have to find out. You're going to have to find out. I think the weakest spot on this team is the defensive tackle still. No matter how you done did it, what you done did, your defensive ends are pretty. With Micah Parsons being out there, your defensive ends are solid. Your defensive ends are solid. Like I said, if Damone Clark can continue to go in the upward trajectory, your linebacking core is actually going to be probably underratedly low-key the best unit out there if Damone Clark can continue in the right direction. And if Diggs bounce back right, then we might just be ready to lock and load and be ready to go. But I told you this is going to depend on the offense, and it's crazy because Schottenheimer is going to be running things, and we don't know what halfback shot he's really going to do. And I told you, Javonte Williams not showing anything during training camp or the preseason. I went out to the practice too Tuesday at Frisco, and he was out there running with the ones, but it was like, bro, he didn't show me nothing. Nathan, he didn't show me nothing, bro, to sit here and say he deserves a starting position. And if that's the case, I'm telling you, me personally, he is just, they're going to throw this boy 40 plus times a game. That's how I feel. This is on Dak, CD Lamb, and George Pickens. This is what this season is going to boil down to. And it's going to be crazy because we're going to come in here a few weeks. We're going to be going over post game, reviewing the game, doing the film, all 22 film, and we're going to be sitting here saying, bro, why don't they run the football? Why don't they run the football? Hoodlum in the building. What's good, man? Appreciate you joining by in the chat one time. Appreciate you, my guy. Like I said, sorry I don't have the type of ferocity that I should be coming with about the roster breakdown. It's only because I'm telling you, I feel like I done did this for the second time. Like, the couple of days ago, I did the 53 man, my breakdown prediction. It almost came out identical. They just had a couple spots that went here or there, and that's just more of the numbers. The numbers are really what changed in my eyes, but the players that they rode with, I'm all there looking at for. I see it. I see it, but I'm like I said, if you're telling me Javonte Williams and Miles Sanders is gonna get these opening reps like this, with Phil Maffa, like I said, being on the IR, y'all got 4 weeks to figure it out with them two. If one of them are gonna make it, if not both of them, not gonna make it. But like I said, you're telling me Javonte Williams is a starting running back, and then we gotta rely on Miles Sanders after that. We are throwing that bitch 40 plus times a game. And to be real with you, to have George Pickens and CD Lamb, I ain't obliged to it. Normally, any other time, I'm like, bro, you can't win like that. We tried that with Romo, bro, and it just didn't work. But I honestly think the defenses weren't good enough neither. But, you know, either or, once you got him a run game, you saw how a lot of things went changing. So, Hoodlum, I've been subscribed to you like 3 years now, fam. Keep grinding. Appreciate it, my guy. Appreciate it, man. We're trying to do it, man. We spent a lot of times, in the past 3 years, a lot of things have changed too. I ended up having my first child. So, and she's 3 years old now. So it's right when I started doing this, she was getting ready to come into the world. So that's kind of been an adjustment. But really, I started my channel off by basically sharing my DFW sports experience by going to the games. It was going to the Cowboys games, going to the Mavericks games, going to the Rangers games, going to the Stars games, even the Wings games. So I started doing more game vlogs, game vlogs about my DFW sports experience. And then, we got hit up by the One Network by IE Sports Radio and started doing like all Dallas sports, kind of like right before DLLS sports came around. Before the All City thing really did. So I was doing that for a minute, and I just decided to go ahead and do my own thing and basically pointed at it this way. As the Rangers do get a 7-3 victory, I mean, they could have used some of them runs yesterday, but, I'll try to talk about that another time. Matter of fact, I will talk about the Rangers tomorrow because I will be in attendance for Game 3 between the Angels and Rangers. Ain't no Nathan Eovaldi. That hurts me, man. But, let's see what they do with the bullpen going. But looking back at the Cowboys, I'm telling you, Javonte Williams, if you're serious about him being a starter, along with Miles Sanders, the Cowboys are throwing that bitch 40 plus times. I'm saying it. They going to get in this situation and be like, bro, now one of them is good. We're going to have to throw this, Dak. So, Dak, this is another season where even though you have a new coaching staff, even though you done had good turnover going in and out, all that type of stuff, in your defense, it just depends on that defensive tackle situation. How can they do and how can they hold up? Hoodlum say, you think Jerry trade Micah? No, I don't think he does. I don't think Stephen Jones wants to do that. Y'all got to realize Stephen Jones is a person who runs a lot of this as well. Supposedly, Stephen is about to be the one that's supposed to mediate. But I don't. Now, I did go on record saying this. If Michael Parsons was going to pledge his loyalty to his agent, then this might not end good. I did say that. But to be real with you, if there's really an issue right now, if they're going to be petty the way the Joneses is being petty, if they're going to continue to be that petty, bro, they're just going to tag them twice. They will cut their nose off to spite their face type stuff just because of their ego and pride. And to be honest, I've said this. I said this. A lot of the times I'm against Jerry. For some reason, this time, I don't want to say I'm with Jerry, but I understand way much more about this on Jerry. Now, a lot of people say, bro, you can't be negotiating contracts with players without their agents. I said that. I'm like, bro, you can't keep doing that. You can't keep doing that. And if that's the way you operate doing business, it's understood why you ain't been winning. It's understood. So like I said, I'm not fully on Jerry's side. And another thing is, bro, another thing where you don't get exalted from this, you find yourself in this same situation like for the last 4 years. You done had to go through this same saga. And you know what? Next year, it won't be nothing new or different because who you got? Tyler Smith, Deron Bland coming up. Come on, bro. So you letting Micah play out this year and thinking you're going to franchise tag him when you're going to have 2 more other players asking for money. Jerry's going to get this. They're going to get this deal done. It would be in the best interest for them to do that. I don't think they that mad or hurt about it. They might not fuck with Micah's agent, but I told you from the jump, if it was me, if I was Micah and Jerry really told me he was going to pay me like over $200 million, bro, I would have told my agent, man, if you don't call Jerry, I'm going to fire your ass. You know what I'm saying? You playing with my money. You get paid when I get paid, but if you fuck around and go call him when the relationship's sour, then shit, you done messed up my money. Hold on, bro. Now, you know, there's trade offers and people might offer to pay him that much, but it's like, damn, bro, if you were cool with being a Cowboy, because you did say you don't have to be the highest paid non-quarterback. You did say that. And Jerry supposedly went to you and still said, I will make you that. Now take this to your agent. He said, can we agree on something like this? If you feel good about this, okay, take this to your agent and let's see what's up. Instead of Micah coming back and saying his agent said that maybe the years need to be different or something like that, he came back and said the agent said for you to call him. Now, I'm with Jerry on this, bro. If you want your money, if somebody told me they were going to give me $200 million, I'd have fired my agent off the money. I don't even need you no more. I don't even need you no more. I'm about to get paid. And I can cut out the middleman where I ain't got to give you no percentage. What? Now, this is me. And like I said, I ain't never had $200 million. Neither has Micah Parsons. He ain't never had $200 million neither. Bruh, if my agent would have replied back, this deal never happened. Jerry needs to call with me and negotiate. What? Did you not hear what the fuck I just said? He said he was going to give me over $200 million. What you mean he need to call you and negotiate? You better get your ass on this phone and call him or I'm going to fire your ass, bro. For real. That's me. That's kind of where I'm on the side of Jerry. Like, bro, I told your client that I'm going to make him the highest non-paid quarterback. Why do I need to call you about negotiating the money that I'm willing to spend? Why? Now, where Jerry's not off the hook, bro, put your ego to the side. Do you really see Micah Parsons being around for the future of the Cowboys? And if the answer is yes, then it's simple, bro. Get on the phone and make the call. That's really what it boiled down to. Now, like I said, if I'm Micah Parsons, bro, did you not hear what I just said, David? The motherfucker said he giving us $200 million. And you talking about that didn't never happen because I wasn't present, then where the fuck have you been at? Because I've seen in training camp, Micah Parsons over here, the Joneses over here. They've been close. They've been damn near, and they've been in eyesight for damn show. They've been in talking distance. Okay. I went to the practice and I had a short that show. I went to a practice and you saw what happened. I posted, damn, Micah Parsons was sitting there with Trayvon Diggs. And then Stephen Jones sitting right there. They're basically in talking distance. Now, if I was the agent and if you're that prideful that Jerry Jones has to call me, bro, why didn't you just show up to the training camp? Like, why call? Why not sit face to face? Why not bring your ass down to Frisco and apply pressure on Jerry Jones? Because had you brought your ass down here and the Joneses didn't speak or look your way, bro, we're all on Micah and the agent side thing. That's plain and simple. We would all be on y'all side. But I haven't seen the agent not one time. But I've seen Micah Parsons and I've seen the Joneses being talking distance. But where is David at? Where's the agent at? Are you trying to get paid, bro? Then either call or bring your ass down to Frisco, bro. Easy as that. Easy as that. If I'm Michael, bro, if you're not going to call him, then bring your ass down here. Because if you come down here and we talking and the Joneses walk by and act like you don't exist, that's on them. That's on them. But for you not to show up, come on, bro. Let's be real. Hoodlum say, blaming Jerry. I think Micah acting like a hoe. I feel like from what I've seen and heard, Micah snaked Jerry out. You mean to tell me he offered you to be the highest non-paid quarterback and you went to your agent and you chose loyalty over your agent to say that never happened? You need to call my agent. Hell yeah, if I'm Jerry, I'm pissed. What? Micah, you said you wanted, you didn't even say that you claimed that you didn't care about being the highest non-paid quarterback. And I actually give you that deal. What's the problem? Why can't you force your agent to make this call? Are you wanting to get paid or not? That's where we heard a lot about Jerry talking about, or Stephen Jones was like, well, we want Micah to get paid, but it's up to Micah if he wants to be paid. Now I see where it's all coming from. Kid Cowboy, what's good, man? Appreciate you joining in the chat one time. Appreciate you. You got them going 8-9, huh? I got them close to 7-10. And I think they're going to start the first 7 weeks off actually pretty good. I think the first 7 weeks, they'll go 5-2. And in the back half of that schedule, they'll fall out. That's kind of how I feel. Maybe 7-10. Maybe they'll go 8-9. But I did say if things go right and they stay healthy, at max, I see them as a 10-win team, 10-7. And I don't know if that's enough to get them done. But if they could at least 10 wins, let it roll. But that's things rolling right. And basically, that's the health of your receivers, George Pickens, CeeDee Lamb, and your boy Dak Prescott. For real. Ray Sean, what's good? Appreciate you tuning in the chat. Cowboys, what's good, y'all? What's up? As Ray Sean joins in the chat, Hoodlum said, yeah, these players act so spoiled and entitled as fuck. Like, bro, was it not you? It wasn't your fault. I'm not saying it was Michael Parsons' fault, but I was at that playoff game in 2023 where they got the doors blown off their ass against the Green Bay Packers. You were part of a defense that gave up 48. And then I come back for 2024 last year for y'all to open up the season back at home AT&T Stadium to roll out there against the Saints. And what happened? You motherfuckers give up 40, 49, 40. Man, stop playing. And after y'all got y'all ass whooped against Green Bay, you got your ass on your podcast and brought Jordan Love up there. Bro, you have kind of been doing some hoe shit. Be honest with you. But I'm on Micah's side on this part. Bro, this defense has been different ever since Micah has came along here, bro. That's where I am on Micah's side, bro. Like, when Micah's out there and the defense, since he's came here and he's been rushing the passer, we look forward to seeing the defense, because years before that, we were like, bro, this defense is horrible. For years, we've been saying this defense is horrible. But Micah came along, Diggs came along, the defense, you rose to your feet and you were like, all right, defense, get this takeaway. All right, defense, get this third down sack. So, like I said, Michael Parsons, since he's been here, he is that type of player. He is worth the money. He really is. But damn, bro, like, come on now. You're gonna pledge loyalty to your agent who gets paid off of you. Now, people are gonna sit here and say Michael gets Jerry money because of the merchandise sales and all that, bro. He's the owner. The agent, damn, bro, like, what type of power struggle is this? Now, I could understand if Jerry came to you with a bullshit ass deal. If Jerry came to you offering you peanuts and stuff like that, like 29 million, you know what I'm saying? Something like that a year. And you took that back to your agent and he said that, I'm all for it. I'm all up for what y'all doing. But damn, bro, he actually said he's willing to make you the highest non-paid quarterback player. That's a non-quarterback. And you said it kind of remind me of Bishop off of Juice, where he was like, bro, Omar Epps came out there. He was like, yo, Lizzie in there sticking up the joint right now. And Pac was like, for real right now? Yeah. And he let you go? He was like, bro, he offered me some of the money. And you said no? Man, it is the 15 people are paid in there. Let's go. Like, come on, man. What's the deal? And like I said, to me, this just boiled down to, Micah, do you want to get paid? That's where I do agree with Stevens. Do you want to get paid? Then you need to tell your agent, hey, man, you work for me. I don't work for you. So if I say Jerry gave me this deal, you need to go negotiate this deal. He don't need to call you. You work for me. Get your ass on the phone or bring your ass down here to Frisco and get something worked out. Now, Jerry, on the other hand, I hate to be on the both sides of the fence, but you do got to have understanding of everything. Jerry, I feel you. You feel like, damn, bro, being a man from the South, a man's word is a man's word. You know what I'm saying? So if that was y'all word and y'all locked in on it, I can see how you feel jaded. But damn, he is young, bro. And I don't think he's mad at Micah. I think he's just mad at the agent. He's not even mad at the NFLPA. He's not even mad at them. I just don't think he's fucking with the agent. And I think Jerry has that type of thought, bro. If my client was going to get paid over $200 million, I'd have been on the phone immediately. Jerry offered you how much? Jerry, what's good, man? I heard you about to offer this $200 million. All right, is that true? Is that true? What's the years? I think we can work something out. Or yay or nay, either or. Either or. You could have called and been like, if this true, then da-da-da-da-da. And if it's not true, then yeah, we need to da-da-da-da-da. But damn, bro, you don't do none of that. Like I said, I can understand if he offered Micah under $30 million per year. That's not the case. He trying to give him over $40 million a year. And you say he gotta call you? Bro, like I said, if you represented Micah, if you cared for Micah that much and you represented him that much, and for Micah to put his loyalty into you that much, bring your ass to Frisco, bro, or make the phone call. That's just plain and simple. If you really want the best interest for your client, because at the end of the day, the client don't need the agent. You don't have to have an agent. Just saying. So you over here having this ego power trip. Come on, man. Stop that, bro. Stop that. That gotta stop. Fulham say, I hope Jerry pay Micah, because when he do get paid, all of that double team bullshit is out the door. It's no excuse for him. Started all this bullshit. He got to be held accountable. Big facts. Big facts. Michael tripping. He needs to go ask T. Higgins what happened. Facts, bro. This dude gonna fuck you out your money, bro, because I'm telling you, I don't think Jerry, I think Jerry and Micah is really cool, bro. I don't think he's really mad at Micah. He know Micah's a young guy. He's probably influenced or whatever. He's not blaming Micah, bro. It's just he's not fucking with this agent. That's just clear to see. But like I said, Jerry, bro, look here, dog. I understand your ego, but at the same time, bro, if you really want what's best for the Dallas Cowboys, then it's easy for you to just pick up the phone. But the problem is, if it gets to that point, if Jerry has to pick up the phone, that deal that he gave Micah, he's taking off the table. He's going to be that pit. And now, Micah, you're caught in a situation where you're going to be forced to make a decision. Because if Jerry takes it off the table, well, then now your agent is going to tell you not to do a deal. And here you're going to be pissed because you're going to be like, bro, he was offering us the money that we wanted. And you was on some power trip type shit. What the hell? What's that all about? You on some power trip type stuff. Now you done knocked my money out the way. Now he's really being an ass. Come on, bro. I would have fired you off the muscle if that was your response to a $200+ million deal. That conversation between y'all two never happened. He needs to make sure that I'm present, so he needs to call me. Man, I'd have fired your ass right. I would have said, "Are you serious?" And if you would have looked at me and said "dead ass," I would have dead ass fired your ass. You ain't about to get between me and my money. You got other clients you can get paid off of. You blew your chance. Look what you talking about. You know, Jerry was seen with Michael Parsons' moms and all that. They got a cool relationship. So I'm telling you, bro, where Jerry is still held accountable, bro. You've been in this position for the last 4 or 5 years, bro, with somebody contract. And like I said, you basically got to figure out what you're going to do with this, because you got 2 more contracts coming down the line that you're going to be right back here next year around late August. We're going to be in the same situation when it comes to Tyler Smith or DaRon Bland. We going to be in the same situation, yo. Same situation. And that sucks. That really sucks. But I think about around after Thursday, I believe you'll start hearing grumblings about negotiations going. And I don't think the negotiations will take that long. But Jerry is clearly not going to fuck with the agent. So Stephen Jones will have to be present. I don't think Stephen Jones has that much animosity toward the agent, because I think he's more hip to how things are ran in the NFL. Plus, he's real business. Jerry is business-like, but he brings his emotions into the business a little bit, way more too much. Stephen Jones, I don't think he has any emotion when it comes to business. The only thing my emotion is, he's cheap. That motherfucker cheap. Cheap, man. Cheap. Yeah, we need Michael to wake up and smell the coffee, and George Pickens, bro. I mean, we need all of them, bro. Because like I said, I'm looking at this running back room. Javonte Williams, what? Miles Sanders, this is the best we can do? Bro, we throwing that boy 40 times a game. So defense, I'm going to need takeaways. That means I'm going to need pass rushing. That means, Jared, we're going to need Micah. We're going to need him because we're throwing that boy 40 times a game. The run game might just be the short passing game out the backfield. That's what you're going to probably use a lot of Turpin for, a lot of Jaden Blue for. You're going to use them for a lot of that stuff throwing out the backfield, which that is a staple of the run game. Why not? Why not it be? But like I said, man, we doing this live, my outlook, I'm not even surprised about anything about this 53-man roster at all, just because I felt like we already did this and this is where it went. This is where it went. But when Brian Schottenheimer say they're open for business, it's not over for you, Tolbert. You still not you say for now. You say for now, but it's not over for you. One of these running backs between Javonte Williams and Miles Sanders, you say for now, but it's not over for you. Offensive line, we kind of see pack. Defensive line, we say Mozzie. Like I said, you made it, but it's not over for you. But they're going to give you every opportunity for you to play yourself off the roster. That's how I see it. We knew about Pion Winfrey. We knew about James Houston. Linebacker, we all knew them 5, what it was going to be. Defensive backs, corner, like I said, unfortunately, y'all, you're going to be stuck with Andrew Booth until you can get Revel off the, Revel coming off the IR. And possibly Carson. Carson comes back off the, that type of stuff. But you're going to be stuck with Andrew Booth. And like I said, with them letting go of Kamon Hall as well, that lets me know that DaRon Bland is going to be playing a lot of the slot. So like I said, Andrew Booth, you made it. You're safe for now. But it ain't over. It ain't over. So those are about my players that I see it ain't over for. Basically, Miles Sanders, Javonte Williams, y'all made it, but it ain't over. Tolbert, you made it, but it ain't over. Mozzie, you made it, but it ain't over, my guy. And then Andrew Booth, you made it, but it damn sure ain't over. I think they know you can play yourself up off this roster. I think they know that. I really believe and think they know that for sure. What time is it? About 10:10? See, I wish I could have got on this live a little bit earlier, but like I said, I was going back and looking over, and I'm like, bro, looking at this roster, you done already did this a couple of days ago, bro. This whole roster, you done already went over this. Like, you're just repeating everything you already said. So, but then I had to get my take on the whole Micah situation, how that's going. I don't know how the locker room actually feels about it. I think they know Micah can be diva-like, but at the same time, his production is going to outweigh his tolerance. I think he's that good, especially at rushing the passer. I think he's that good. Now, a lot of people are going to say, for $200+ million, your ass better learn how to stop the run. That's fair. That's fair. That's fair. But you know he going to get to the passer. You know that. You know that. Let say we got to have a defensive tackle. Like I said, Mozzie, with Brian Schottenheimer saying we're open for business, Mozzie, you're safe for now, but it ain't over. So like I said, just wait here in the next few couple of days. You'll see who basically gets picked up, who clears wires, the waiver wire and all that type of stuff. Then you'll probably see some people coming back as well. But then you also see some moves getting made. But I think it's going to take about the end of this week. Once extra moves get made, what they see they can pick up and put on the practice squad, to then after that, okay, we got our roster set. Let's give Micah his money. I think that's the next thing that's breaking down right there. That's coming forward. Going forward right there. Like I said, I was watching the Rangers game earlier today. They did end up winning 7-3. It sucked because they got their ass shut out the day before, killing all their momentum, but they ended up getting a good victory today. Bad news for the Texas Rangers. Nathan Eovaldi, he has been shelved for the rest of the season with a strained rotator cuff. So that sucks. And we done already made the live with him being up in there. We was hoping to get an Eovaldi start tomorrow. That's not going to happen. To my luck, they're going to be a bullpen day, but the bullpen didn't have to work as much today. So hopefully the Bats can continue to bring what they brought tonight. Hopefully y'all can bring that for me tonight. But I will be going live after the Rangers game at Globe Life Field /Texas Live after the game. So y'all make sure y'all tune in for that, just for some baseball content. I got about a few more games to go to, but we're basically wrapping up the baseball season and basically going full dive into the Cowboys season. Also, my plan going forward for this channel, like I said, we talk Dallas Stars as well, but we're really going to be heavily invested going into Dallas Cowboys and heavily invested in going to the Dallas Mavericks. There'll be two of the hot topics going for each sport. We done did enough for the Rangers this year. I just think with Nathan Eovaldi being hurt like that, that's a wrap, bro. I think this is a good punch. I think they see the writing on the wall. The writing has been on the wall. It's there. Now with the Cowboys, we have this roster, but as soon as the waiver wires and stuff start happening and they basically end up having a new 53-man roster that get ready before the week of the Philadelphia week, basically Labor Day week, we'll probably drop another live and really go over the roster and see what's really good, what y'all have confidence in and going forward into this season. I will probably get with my bros looking at the final, roster situation and see if we can give a re-prediction, which I don't think is probably going to change much of our minds of how the season is going to play out. So I kind of don't want to give another season prediction, but might as well. Why not? For the content's sake purposes and just for the fun of it, why not go ahead and do another one of those? And then once it gets ready for Thursday, I thought about going to AT&T Stadium because they are having a watch party there. I'm pretty sure they have the ceremony there, but I was like, you know what? Why not kick it and work out the kinks and communications with live streaming the Cowboys games here going forward this year. I already know I'll be at AT&T Stadium when the 14th when the Giants come here. So that's kind of where I'm like, man, I will be at AT&T Stadium, and it just depends on the weather. If it's gonna still be hot out there, fuck no, I ain't doing it. I ain't going. I ain't going, fam. I ain't going. I ain't going. But it all depends how I feel. You know, get some. It basically will be fan action from AT&T Stadium as the game goes on. So why not do it that way? But we might just kick it back here live, kick it with the family, and then have the stream, kick it with the stream fam, everybody on YouTube, and do some things that way. So that's how we're gonna do it probably. I'm looking probably to do it that way, and then after the game, we'll review the game, do that way. Once the all 22 come out, make sure you tuned in because we'll basically have a live session watching the whole all 22, and that's gonna be all year this year. So y'all stay tuned in, especially for the Cowboy content and any of the DFW sports content. If you're a fan of the Mavericks, Rangers, Stars, Wings, or whatever, man, stay tuned to this channel because we keep it going all 4 seasons. All 4 seasons. We've been in the summer season, but like I said, it's coming down to the end for the Rangers. Tomorrow I will be having content just because we will be live at the Rangers game tomorrow. So y'all check out the shorts I'll be dropping. We'll be live post game after the game as well. So y'all make sure y'all tune that out. Thursday will be an off day for sports, I'm believing, but it will be a kickoff of NCAA. So we might end up taking a couple of days off. We might. But then again, high school football is in effect. And then I am a big Florida State head. But at the same time, I have paid attention a lot to TCU and I paid a lot of attention to SMU. And then that can be local teams that I'll look at, and it'll be more looking at draft prospects and stuff like that. See what we can possibly do for something like that. Kind of have a look to see what's out there for the draft. And as my boy Hoodlum say, we need a defensive tackle. So I'm going to be looking at those couple of games, see who shines out at defensive tackle. Probably it's college football week, Labor Day weekend. So why not take a little break and just enjoy the college football as we get ready to gear up some real football in the NFL for the Dallas Cowboys going forward. And like I said, right after that follows with the Cowboy season, we'll be going heavily into the Dallas Mavericks as well. So maybe that's probably something I'll do Thursday because I heard Mark Cuban came out and he basically talked about what he owns and who he's cool with and who he's not cool with and how he feels about the Mavericks going forward. Yeah, buddy, we'll see about that. We'll see about that. But that's going to be my time for tonight, man. Let me go ahead and try to hit the sheets. Got to be at work early tomorrow. And then after that, after we leave work, we're going right to the game. So like I said, make sure for all the people who are new viewing, man, hit that like button. Go ahead and hit that notification bell. If you like baseball and you like the Texas Rangers for sure, like I said, I will be in action at Globe Life Field tomorrow for Game 3, Angels and Rangers, as the Rangers try to go ahead and win this series and try to complete a home stand of trying to win 5 out of 6 games. So that's how we go. But that's all my time for today, man. I want to appreciate all y'all for tuning in. And if this was your first time tuning in, big salute. Shout out to you. And if you've been here and been a regular, double salute, shout out to you. Hit that notification bell. You can check my lives that's getting scheduled. You can see all the type of stuff we're getting ready to talk about. So I will keep y'all updated and up to form. But like I said, tomorrow's a baseball day. So when you see me on live, you'll be like, damn, you going to be talking baseball? Yeah, we're going to be talking about the Rangers, even though the season is about over. But we're going to talk about them. And we'll be live at the game tomorrow. So I will catch y'all about around 9:45, 10 till 10 o'clock tomorrow after the Rangers game. We'll be live at the Globe Life Field and Texas Live. Hopefully it comes out with a Texas Rangers victory for sure. But other than that, when it comes to more Cowboy content, just stay tuned to the live. And I'll end up posting and let y'all know what the conversation is going to be like. But let's give it a couple of days. People are going to make some more signings and stuff like that. People will clear waiver wires and all that type of stuff and get added to practice squads. Let's see what that happens, and hopefully we'll get some conversation going between the front office and Michael Parsons. That's my time for y'all today, man. I hope y'all enjoyed the show. Just my little recap. I'm going to be honest with you. I didn't have too much to add to this because I felt like I've already done this. Basically, what I I don't, my overview and prediction basically, I don't want to say came right, but it just followed suit kind of way. It was just a couple of differences just by the numbers of the position. So that's what we went through. But as the season gets closer and closer, as much as I'm like, man, this is a 7-8 win team, 10 win. They'll be lucky to make 9 wins, but 10 wins will be their ceiling to me as of right now. But as we get closer and we get closer to September 4th, well, I guess things change. You know what I'm saying? So we'll see how that roll, man. Until then, man, y'all keep going. Y'all keep grinding. The week is almost halfway over. For the people that probably work extra hours on the weekend, man, keep grinding, doing your thing. But if you got the regular through the weekend and you don't have no overtime coming through, get ready. You're halfway to your week, to a long weekend, Labor Day weekend. For college football gets started from Thursday all the way to Monday. That sets us up for Thursday, the NFL kicking off. So much love to my people that came in the chat, and much love to my people that's watching this on the replay. You catch this on the replay, hit that like button, drop a comment. But until then, man, make sure you do everything with love, because love always wins. That's the law. With that, I'm out, y'all. I'll catch y'all next time.
Self-made independent hoe, I'm all about my businesses. I consistently continue to bring energy and on that keep it popping like I'm full of electricity. Try to hold me out, I wish you would have the audacity. Take a rap laxative, now I'm shitting on the industry. Self-made not a title, cause it's my identity, and wear it on my skin like it's a part of my ethnicity. Mary keep on blowing like instruments in the symphony. That keep a player buzzing like Twitter when you mention me. Being 100's a everyday living tendency, and ain't faced by hating, it makes me increase my intensity.